this community, like, that meant more to me than self and all of this, you know, bringing people together and giving people the opportunities that I desperately desired, you know, and coming in the come up was just kind of one of those things.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to the Dukesday podcast. I am here live and direct with my man Jacob. I actually ran into this man yesterday in Tampa, so crazy story. I was actually shooting podcasts at the Element downtown, and then one of my guys were coming through, and so he pulled up, and then we went out, tried to find a parking spot. He accidentally drove like 7 blocks away. We didn't realize how far we were, and then we're walking towards the Element, and we see all these tents set up. We're like, yo. My boy points it out. Yo, it's lit over there. What's going on over there? I was like, what? I was like, I don't know. Let's just go find out. So then walked over there and started talking to one of the vendors that were packing up their tent. And I was like, yo, what's going on? And then they showed me their art. They're like, yo, yeah, this is a pop-up brunch on the block. I was like, brunch on the block? That's lit. And I was like, yo, so how'd you guys get a chance to do this? They're like, yo, you gotta talk to Jacob. They're like, yo, you gotta talk to Jacob. I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, where's Jacob? It's like, yo, if you go in there, walk up those steps, you're gonna find him. He's in a green Tampa Bay Rays shirt. I'm like, okay, cool. I ran into you and I was like, you were turned around, so I was like, I don't know if that same dude has a green shirt on, so I'm like creeping around you, like trying to peep your shirt.
Jacob!
I'm like, Jacob! And then you turn around, I was like, yo, that's him! And I was like, yo, I heard you the man, bro. I gotta tap in with you and get to know you, and then we had an amazing conversation, bro. So thank you for allowing me to pull up on you here at what's the name of this cabinet shop?
I'm at All Square Cabinets over in Tampa right now. It's actually where I work, my day job. So,
yo, yeah, that's lit.
Making custom cabinets, you know, all different kinds of cool art, stuff like that.
Yeah, bro, that's super dope, man. I will let you take the floor, man. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. Tell us about what you do in Tampa. Tell us, you know, just introduce yourself to my audience, man.
Yeah, what's good, guys? Basically, my name's Jacob. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I'm super proud to be from Tampa, Florida. It's my heart and soul. So I love the culture here. I love the people here. I love just seeing my city win, you know. A little bit about me. I started a rock reggae group back when I was 15 called the Kiva the Band. Basically, we're like a rock reggae fusion group. Like, you know, a little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers inspiration kind of vibe. And when I was first getting started, I recognized like it was really tough to like get opportunity, you know. It's tough to like play shows and just get put on. Like, where do I start? You know, that's so many like artists and creatives like first line, like where do I start? And I've just been growing that. You know, I built the band up for like the last 8-9 years, and we did amazing things in the city. Like played some incredible shows, sold out some really awesome venues. Like, and I just realized, you know, like I love making music, I love being an artist, but the core of everything that I loved was the community, you know. Right. I love people coming together. There's nothing like after a performance, you know, obviously the high of the performance, but just the feeling of diversity and people all being together, you know. Like it's so fulfilling for my spirit. And so I don't know, like that's in a nutshell kind of who I am, bro. It's like I'm a musician, artist from the Bay. Like that's who I am, you know. And I really just have a heart for the people. I realized like this community, like that meant more to me than self and all of this, you know, bringing people together and giving people the opportunities that I desperately desired, you know, and coming in the come up was just kind of one of those things.
You're a really dope individual, man. You really, just from right when I met you, you had great energy. You were telling me about all these opportunities that you could provide for me. And I'm just like, bro, we didn't even do, like most people aren't like that. Most people aren't just gonna be like, hey man, I can help you get shows. I can help you put a band together. I can help you do a pop-up shop. I can get you plugged in with everything. And I'm just like, whoa, bro, off the rip. Like that's just straight love, man. I could just tell like you want to see people grow. You want to see people take their business or their spirit, their energy, all of that to the next level, because all that is intertwined. Like you can't take your business to the next level unless you take your spirit and your personal development to the next level. So that was real, bro. So I really appreciate you for that, man.
Of course, bro. And it's just God's love, you know, like love all, serve all. Like the more we're in service of other people, the more we're in service of ourselves and taking care of that, you know, spirit work of just like, I don't know, giving back is so fulfilling, you know. So that's kind of how all this started. Like the root idea of if you don't mind me going into that.
Oh no,
bit, like
go
the root
into
idea
it.
of Brunch on the Block. So
yeah, Brunch on the Block. That was the event. I was like, bro,
just wild. It stemmed from the same concept that I'm like talking about, just like wanting to help people, like from a pure place of like I would always go out to eat on Friday nights to this one spot. It's called No Jacks.
No Jacks.
Yeah, had amazing food. And
is that downtown?
Yeah, now it's called Supernatural, right? So that's how it like transpired.
I'm gonna have to go there.
Yeah, it's fire. So I would always go there and I would ask the guy like, hey man, anything I could do to help you. Like I saw he was such a go-getter, like local, you know, like he's a dreamer. Like he worked really hard to have what he has, a spot in downtown. And, you know, you recognize other people's greatness and like their ability to like want the best for themselves, you know. And I appreciate that so much. Like I see that in you, bro. Like this dude pulled up on me. I'm at work right now on lunch break. So it's cool. But yeah, it's like, I would always go to Wesley like every week and I'd be like, hey man, anything I can do to help you. Like I don't care if I'm passing out flyers. Like I want to see your brand grow. Like I believe in like the food you're putting out, the energy you're putting out, and the love and passion you have behind your project.
Right.
And so from that, like things just kind of got crazy, you know. Like it was me and him sat down and I was like, hey, like let's go out for drinks, let's talk and kind of figure out a way I could help you. Because he's like, you know, flyers, whatever. And so that's literally he comes back to me and I originally want to do like a little backyard hangout, like something just chill in my backyard, have a couple homies over, having a private cater.
Right.
And he's like, honestly, bro, like I hate that idea. Like he was just super real with me, super blunt. He's like, I don't see how that's gonna like grow my business, you know? And I was like, respect, but like very humbling. I was like, yo, let's like, what can I still do to help? Okay. That's my heart, is to help you, you know? And he's like, I'll have this idea called Brunch on the Block, where it'd be like me and the bar next door, and let's do something cool. And yeah, man, like I said, that's it. Like, let's do it. Like, let me bring in the other portion of this. Like, what does that look like, you know? So that's when I started diving in and basically put this event together, man. It was just all spirit-led. Like, every day, like, I'd get a new sign or get a new connection that would help bring all these things together. And I don't know, I just feel super blessed, you know? Sometimes things are way beyond you. Sorry for this is, you know, a little random, but
no, bro.
I'm trying to get to the point. It'll pop up soon.
We want to hear the story because like that's what's important, because somebody's going to be able to learn from that. Like, oh, you literally went into the restaurant and built that connection with him because you just simply wanted to help. You added value. You weren't asking for anything. You were wanting to see somebody else build. So that's a really crucial part of the story. I want people to hear it all. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely,
ahead.
Bro. And I think that's so important. You know, a lot of times a lot of life is a give and a take, you know, whether it's money or whether it's time. Like everything's an energy exchange, and that's what I'm finding more and more. It's just offer, like things you're passionate about, just offer your assistance and offer your help, you know, and you never know where those things can lead you. And that was just my heart in it, like asking Wesley, like, what can I do to help you? And so he came up with this idea, and yeah, man, I went to the books. I just started finding every talented person I knew. I have one friend that does used to have art shows, so I was like, hey bro, give me a list of artists.
Wow.
And he sent me like 5 incredible artists. I think I locked all of them in for the event. So a lot of the people for the event were like actually acquaintances of my friends and different people. A lot of those people were like, I might have known, you know, out of like the 20 or so people that were there to help, I probably only knew like 4 or 5 of them, you know, personally. And I think that's like the power, and it's relinquishing control, you know. A lot of us in life, like, we so desperately want to control the outcome of things or have this set expectation of how things need to be in this direct path, you know. And I think a lot of times in life, when you open yourself up and surrender yourself to control, like, you could find so many other opportunities, you know. And so that's what happened for me, man. Like, to go back a little bit, I had a vision last year that I wanted to start something called Camp Conversation.
Oh, wait! You told me this story yesterday, bro. You gotta start from the beginning. You gotta start that story. At least give me a quick synopsis of how it led to that epiphany.
Yeah, I got you, bro. So, COVID was obviously tough, still is tough, you know, on a lot of us, and I knew I needed to get away. You know, I needed to get some space, and packed up my car, I put a mattress in my car, and I was like, I'm just gonna drive. I don't know where I'm going, I'm just gonna drive. Like, I just need to find freedom, you know, whatever it is. And I found myself in Roanoke, Virginia.
Roanoke, Virginia.
Roanoke, Virginia.
Wow.
Beautiful place, man. I tell a lot of people I think God lives in Roanoke. Like, there's such a spirit there, man. Like, I found a lot of angels there. And I would just meditate by the river every day and just pray. I had so much time to think and so much time to tap back into myself, you know? Not the ways of the world, the ways of myself, the things I enjoy, you know?
Right.
Nature and, like, just the beauty that's just right here and just the present, you know? And not what you want things to be, but what they just simply are. And so I was just vibing, and one day I had this epiphany. Like, literally a voice came to me. It's like the voice of God was like, Jake, you need to have a campground. Like, and at the time the band was rolling, like we were still playing shows, like everything in my life was in a whole different lane, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, man, maybe when I'm like 50, cool, you know, like I'll settle down into this. But God's like, bro, like this is what you should do. Like, this is what you're passionate about, like bringing people together and offering something that's like almost a form of escapism, you know.
Yeah,
almost a form of
real.
allowing artists to get away from this everyday, like, you know, bullshit we live in. And so I was just like, yeah, man, like, that voice was so clear, and I was just so excited. I called my mom, you know, like,
that's dope.
I'm a mama's boy, bro. I was literally like, yo, mom, like, I think I found what I want to do with my life, you know.
Wow.
And so I was just so excited and so passionate. And I called her, and she's like, I'm full support. Like, you know, I believe in you. And it was just beautiful, man. Like, I realized, like, that was my end goal in life, and in just creating a property, creating a home for people, creating a home for artists and musicians, you know, something that like people can come and experience and really have. And so, you know, I had no idea of what that meant, what that looked like financially, anything, bro, or where I would even start, you know.
Really?
As most artists, things like, where do I even start, you know? And so, yeah, I just was like, I'm just gonna make an Instagram page called Camp Conversation, let everyone know, like, yeah, from Tampa. The whole idea of Camp Conversation is because conversations allow for breakthroughs. A lot of times as artists, we get in our own heads, we get stuck, we get really stagnant, you know? And conversation, to me, always allows you to open the door back up and keep flowing.
For real, it brings so much inspiration, because you not only use your perspective, it's like that other person's perspective. Now you're bouncing ideas back and forth, whether you even actively realize it or not. As you're having conversations with people, you're expanding your mind. You know, there's like I was reading this book called the 16 Laws of Success. Super dope book. I recommend that everybody listen to it. It's on Audible, so y'all go check that out. But anyways, so I was listening to that, and they were talking about how getting together with people who are, I wouldn't say necessarily all like-minded, but people who have a certain type of mindset. And when you get together with those people, you congregate. It's like yesterday when we were all speaking and we were all just bouncing ideas together, and Maurice popped up and he was like, yo, this is church right here. And that's literally what the book was talking about. Like, people go to church because when you all get together, your energy combines and multiplies, and it brings the mastermind effect. Like, you have a mastermind between everybody. Everybody's minds comes together, and the thoughts and ideas become so amplified that you can accomplish so much more than you could ever do by yourself.
Yeah, man, it's like conversation. Like, that's the premise of it, you know. Conversations allow for breakthroughs. And so that's like the premise of my end goal, is having a campground that really focuses on bringing people together, like more even than the art, like where people come and create. They're met together through conversation. And that's how so much of the event happened too, bro. Like, everything was a conversation. One friend's like, yo, like, what if you did a canvas people can color on? And I was like, great idea. I'm going to put that in. So had that happen. Someone else is like, yo, like, what if we did a map? Great idea. Like, someone else is like, all these little ideas, bro, like, I can't even begin to list them, like, with just suggestions of amazing friends and me trusting their judgment, you know. Obviously knowing that it's not my end idea, but I'm a leader and I'm going to bring these ideas to life, you know. So, and allowing them to see themselves through my execution, you know. Oh, bro, that was my idea. Yeah, it was your idea, and I respect you for that, and I appreciate you for that, you know. And like, that's the thing, is like, there was so many different, like you said, so many different minds curating a concept, and like, that makes me happier than just like being the boss with the whole vision, you know, because people start to tune out, you know. Everyone's in their own, we're all living our own lives from our own perspective. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, we have a very tunnel vision of us and our dreams, you know, just like I have a tunnel vision with Camp Conversation. All these guys have tunnel visions for their art, their music. So for me, it's about facilitating everyone's greatness, you know, having people, inspiring them and organizing things so they can show up and be their best selves. And that's really the premise of all of this, man. And so I let God take control. Like, I really was just like, you know, like, allow me to be a vessel, allow me to be a light. And just, you know, I pray and meditate on this every day, and this opportunity rose, and it felt like a little overwhelming at first. I was like, am I an event planner? Am I, like, what am I? You know, like, eventually I want to have a campground, you know, how does this tie in? But along the process, I learned that, like, it's almost a mini representation of the end goal. You know, what you experienced yesterday was a mini little set, like, leadway into, like, what the final vision is. And that final vision is so pure and, like, that high energy, you know, everyone just had a smile on their face. Like, the vibe was incredible. Like, it really was, man. Like, and,
like, even when I got there, like, everybody's energy levels were up. Like, everybody was like, yo, dope, what's up, man? What's up? I was like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah. Yo, yeah. So that jump was so dope, bro. I was like, bro, I gotta get tapped in. I was like, yo, I gotta be at the next event this dude throws. So, but you made a really good point about the relinquishing control and allowing other people to, you know, have a voice. And that's something that's missing in a lot of spaces, you know what I'm saying? Some people, their leadership style, they don't allow for that, you know. And I experienced that a lot through, like, you know, working at certain studios or working corporate. You know, nobody wants to hear what you gotta say sometimes. They don't, or if they'll listen to you and act like they care and not implement or act upon it. But with what you're talking about, it's like you allow it to become a collaborative effort, as opposed to, okay, I'm doing this, I'm taking this, it's all on me. No, this is a collaborative effort. Somebody got some ideas. Oh, that's a dope idea. Let's go ahead and implement that. That's gonna allow the event itself to just be so much more fruitful at the end of the day. So yeah, I respect that.
You nailed it on that. Yeah, it's collaboration, and it's in its true form, you know, like, true collaboration is just, it's almost unheard of these days, you know, because usually there is one leader, there's one, you know, and there's a difference between a boss and a leader. Like, I have to understand that, you know. A lot of people, a boss will tell you what to do, a leader will show you how to do it, you know. Right. And so there's a big difference in that. For me, it's being able to help everyone, you know, and, like, I love to assist people. Like, you know, artists were showing up yesterday, and I was like, let me help you get shit out of your car, like, whatever. Right. Like, you know, anything I could do to, like, help everyone show up in their fullness and their confidence, you know, because I knew that confidence was gonna take it to the next energy wave and the next energy wave, to where everyone felt comfortable. You know, you're essentially making, like, a little home for people for a couple hours, like a little nest, you know. Right. And what does that feel like? What, for me, it's not so much about the physical, it's like the spiritual, like the feeling. And that's what everyone was really complimenting yesterday. It was like, man, the feeling here is just, it's just the heightened vibe, you know. And that's what I really go after, like, with anything in my life, you know. Back to when the band played shows, like, it was such a feeling, and that we're creating, you know, and I'm trying to create through events like these, you know. And being someone in Tampa, like, a lot of cities and a lot of things I notice are, like, kind of cliquey, you know.
Right.
Even Tampa, I mean, it's cliquey. Like, you have all these little different demographics, and I don't think they don't want to network and want to link. I think they don't know how to, you know, where there's not someone creating a peaceful place for everyone to kind of coexist. And
right.
So
that's real.
Kind of, you know, my dream is to tap into all those communities, and how can I bring all those communities together, you know? So it's not these guys over here that are really good at this and these guys over here that are really good at this. It's how can we mesh all those together? We're all in the same city, all going after the same thing. Like,
and we could all win.
Everyone can win. There's so many lanes, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone could drive. Like, it's not rush hour, you know?
Exactly.
So it's just one of those things, but
like, yeah, some people get caught up in the perception of the rat race that people are in there. And then some people have, like, a crabs in a bucket mentality, where it's like, no, I got to pull somebody else down for me to go up. But no, you can help somebody up while you're going up, and somebody else is going to end up helping you as well. But one thing about what you said is you have a very a servant leadership style, man, and that's really really important to have, because if you're not serving the people for the types of spaces that you're in, planning events, doing shows, performing, like those types of things, you gotta be serving the people, and like you exemplify that at a high level. So I respect that, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Heck yeah,
for real, yeah. And definitely, like, likewise, like, it's just like, when you approach me as the same, like, just the confidence and the love and just the passion you have, like, you showed up today, like, you're a man of your word, and like that's gonna take you far in life, bro. Like, it's just one of those things of like, when stuff like, I don't know, it's, you recognize that in people, and I feel like I recognize that in people, and just trusting my discernment, to lead me into the right places and meet the right people and just take certain opportunities, and being honest with myself, like what I can and can't do with certain things,
Right.
like understanding like I'm really good at certain things and I'm not that great at other things, and where could I use assistance, where could I use help,
Right.
Not being scared to ask for help. I think too many people, let me
Yo.
say it though, like too many people are scared to ask for help, and people want to help. Like that's the biggest thing. People love to help, they have to know how to help. It's like anything in life. So when you understand how you need to be helped, then you can better communicate that with the next person, say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, and a very humble approach, and can you help me in this thing? You're really talented in this thing. Can you help me facilitate this part? And people will show up. And one of my favorite artists, his name's Kid Super. He lives up in Brooklyn, and he makes art for everybody, bro. He's a fashion designer, like literally does everything. I was able to meet him, just super inspirational. And one thing he said in an interview that's always stuck with me is like, enthusiasm is like your currency. And so like, when you're excited, people won't tell you no. Like when you're like really excited about a project or art or something of those lines, like people will get excited with you, and they're
Right.
like, oh bro, like I see that vision, like oh heck yeah, like I want to be part of that, because they see that it brings this light and this fulfillment in you.
Yeah, it's contagious.
It is.
More contagious than COVID.
Oh goodness.
Yo, for real though, yeah. And that's one thing that I realized, man. So I went to University of Florida, and I was their first ever mic man, hype man for the football team. So I'll be out there with the football team, hyping up the crowd and everything. And what I realized through that is...
This man does everything, bro.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and what I realized, it's extremely contagious. It was so contagious to the point where, like, okay, we go to a football game, boom, somebody will just see me out, right? And they'll be like, yo! And they'll just start turning up, and I'll just be like, yo, okay. I'm not on the field right now. I'm still hyped, still got energy. Well, like, it's so contagious to the point where even off the field, somebody just on site, they get extremely excited and enthusiastic. And then, like you're saying, they'll want to help. Them like, yeah, hey, I'm a musician. I rap. I got a show coming up. I'm opening up for the Yin Yang Twins. Come on. And they're like, yeah, I'll buy a ticket. All of that stuff. So like, yeah, so like things like that happen to me. So I totally feel exactly what you're saying about that enthusiasm being your form of currency. It's like a spiritual currency.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, bro. Like, and just like staying excited. Like most people are in life, like, feel like something I'm learning is a lot of people reflect your energy. We're oftentimes looking at a mirrored image of ourselves,
Right.
and so like for good or bad, and so like a lot of times, like, it's not easy, or it's not hard to get. It's like when someone's dancing, bro, it's like a party.
Right.
No one's dancing, but that one person's dancing, the second person starts dancing, and then the third, and then all of a sudden the whole room's dancing,
Right.
because it's just that one person that's just, planting that seed of just positivity and just like, hey, let's do something. Let's get out of let's be a little vulnerable for a second,
Right.
see where that could take me, and that's the thing. Everyone, oh, but my ego says this, but my facade says this is who I need to be. This is, this group knows me as this and this group knows me as this, but like, who are you,
Right.
Like, who are you when everyone's in the same room looking at you?
Mm.
How do you choose to be? How do you choose to carry yourself? And that's a
Right. question
question I ask myself all the time.
Man, that's a real good question, bro. I like that, and it just inspires people to be true to themselves and who they are. It's like, whatever room I move in, I'm like, yo, I'm the same person. Like, that's the best type of it makes you personally more comfortable, and it releases all of those inhibitions, all those insecurities, like you're saying. It kills your ego away, and you're just like, yo, I'm just myself. I live by these certain principles, and that's what actually something I had to do. I had to reflect, like you saying, like you asked yourself that question, and I'm like, okay, well, what principles do I live by? Like, I live by, helping people, you know what I'm saying? Being a man of my word, try, consistently, and just putting my work ethic front, like just put it all out there and just letting people know. So I feel that, bro. I feel that, man. It's real.
Yeah, man. Just keeping like that level of transparency too. I feel like I'm a very transparent person. Like I might not be able to get on certain depths like right away, in conversation, but a lot of people, like, I feel like I really have nothing to hide, like I'm always just pretty like open with everyone, and I'll say the same thing, like to everybody. And so it's that direct line of, communication, just keeping it real, bro. Like,
facts.
And people will respect that more.
Yo, for real.
Like, it's not, because I always hated that like switch up mentality. It's like someone's really cool, but then they're in a different group and they're not so cool. And so like
dang.
That was so much of the music. When I first got started, like loving reggae music and that scene and stuff. It's all connection, all connectivity, and all like learning like how we are all so connected, and how much like we could all use each other to like build something greater, for ourselves and for the next man. And so that's the thing, man. It's like, I don't know, like this was my first event. I don't even know what the second one's looking like yet, like I'm just keeping it like,
that's dope, bro.
Keeping it open to like what's the next sign. I have ideas for what's the next sign, but I trust that next thing that's supposed to be just will be, and everything's gonna like start locking in for me, and that's how it all happens. Like like even at the show yesterday, like I was telling you when we first met, but the art studio upstairs.
Yeah. Like, oh, let me tell y'all.
Yeah, water cooler.
Yo, this man partnered with Water Studio, man.
Water Cooler Studio.
Oh, Water Cooler Studio. Yeah. Okay, yeah, man. Introduced me to Vaughn, Robert, Marissa. Man, I remember all their names. I'm getting better with I'm getting better with remembering names. Yeah, man, that's a really dope space, first and foremost, and thank you for getting me plugged in with them too.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah, they're super great locals. Actually, Marissa and Robert started out just really helping the community and doing like community style events, and that's how they like got their business up and running. Like they were selling coconuts at the beach when they first moved here.
Whoa.
And then they moved into like doing media and stuff for other people, and just really cool and inspirational people. And like timing again, like I planned the event 4 weeks ago, and they opened their studio 3 weeks ago, and I just stumbled upon them, and I was like, yo, they'd be perfect to host our events, part of our space. I know they have similar mission statement as I do, and that's just the way God works out, bro. Like sometimes things will just literally like fall into place, They're beyond you, like they're just beyond, like, and that's like the best feeling. I think I get more gratification in that than I do like everything going perfectly planned, because it leaves so much room for the unknown to happen. The unknown's often where we find the next key, or the next thing that can lead us to the next place we really want to be.
Yeah, well, far too often we have fear of the unknown, but it's like, the unknown should be intriguing, because at the end of the day, when we have a goal, sometimes we don't know how we're going to get to it. So we have to pursue that unknown in order to get to our goal. So there's actually prosperity in the unknown. So that's how I was able to personally like dispel my fear of the unknown. Like just like, oh man, like sometimes you want to do something and you're like, I don't know how it's gonna turn out, and then like just getting over that fear is you gotta flip that switch sometimes. You gotta be able to recognize when you're like, oh, like literally 2 weeks ago, me and my brother we went out to do a video shoot, and we were by the river in Jacksonville, and there was 2 guys over there with a boat, and I was like, dang, I want to ask them if we could use their boat, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. And my brother was like, come on, man, like let's just ask them. What's the worst that could happen? They could say no, and it helped. He helped me flip that switch right back, because like I don't know why I felt that way. Normally, sometimes everything's up and down in our energies and spirits, but like that moment I was just like, I don't know if I want to even ask them. Let's just do our thing. But we end up asking them to end up letting us on the boat. We shot some fire stuff, those guys, and then it was funny. one of the guys knew my best friend that I grew up with. I forget his name, but I think his name was Felipe. But he knew my homie Julian that I grew up with, who got me into recording, because he was had the first studio that I recorded in. And so it was crazy. So I like FaceTimed him, and he's like, "Yo, that's my boy." They're from the same. They were both Colombian. I was like, "Bruh," my mind was blown. I was like, "Yeah, that was meant to happen. I should never feel that way ever again." It was crazy, man.
I find stuff like that, like, I always explain it to people. It's like a phone call, you know. Like you could have like a phone call from like a relative you might not really like, you know, dig too much, or like a random ex, something, whoever. But when you have 4 rings or whatever to answer the call. You know, you have this very small time frame to answer the call. And in that moment when they're calling you, they're thinking about you picking up, right? They're thinking about like, oh man, he's gonna pick up and I'm gonna say what I have to say. Whether it's good, bad, it could be someone you love too. But just they're calling, so their mind's focused on you in that moment, right? And you have the opportunity to answer the call or to reject the call. And if you reject the call and you say, hey man, I'll call you in 15, I'm working right now. When that 15 minutes later, it's not as important to them. You know, 15 minutes later, the call is a moot point. But that's the thing, it's the same with spirit. When you get those calls, and internally, it's like you have one opportunity to answer the call, you know? And so like you got a call, it's like, hey, you need to do this. And you picked up the call, and it turned out being a beautiful opportunity, a beautiful experience. You know, if you ignored that call, you go home and you're like, man, like, I should have picked up the phone, like it was ringing, you know? And so like that's like the analogy I use so often is like God will call on different things in your life and in your spirit and say like, yo, you should do this, like, and you'll know in that moment. And it feels, sometimes it could feel crazy. It could be even a song, like in the morning, like oftentimes on the way to work, like a song will pop in my head, and that's the first thing I'll put on, is the first thing that comes to my head, because I'm like, there must be something in there that I need to tap into, something I need to listen to. And so oftentimes, like, when I get these calls now, I'm not ignoring them anymore, you know? Even if it's in a physical world of being people, I answer because I understand, like, I need to answer that call. Their mind is focused on me, just as that spiritual energy of, like, saying you need to do this, like, that same call is happening within you. So that's you answering to yourself, you know, and ultimately honoring yourself and able to get something you desired. You desired cool shots on a boat, bro. You get cool shots on a boat, like, you know. And so like that's kind of like the mindset I take of it, is just like when the phone's ringing, pick it up, you know. Like literally, it could be something, and it's a funny analogy because I would always tell that my mom again, but like an old friend was calling her, she's like, I don't really. I was like, Mom, pick up the call. She picks it up. She's like, had the best conversation, you know. She was like, Jake, thanks so much for telling me to pick up the call. I was like, yeah, you know, because like it's just one of those things, and like it's the same internally as it is externally, you know. It's just a metaphor for what's actually going on, you know, like in our spirit. And so, yeah, bro, I find that's just kind of how I've been living my life lately, like just allowing things to, you know, move through me and not me try to be in control of how everything's moving, you know, and really just setting that tone. And I think that's why, like, you know, the event yesterday was so successful. Camp Conversation is going to be a huge success because I think I'm putting in this light energy, you know, and this true, like, steadfast energy of just, like, showing up and being who I want to be, not who I think I need to be, not trying to be the lordy boss or anybody. It's just being who I want to be in that moment. And I wanted to enjoy myself just like everyone else did. So I was walking around the whole time dancing, like just having a good time, you know, because like I wanted to be present with everybody else. I didn't want to have to just oversee everything. Like I wanted to be part of everyone else, you know. So like it was great to facilitate that and then get to enjoy it as well. So I think that's really that's what it is, man. It's a constant practice and it's constant like self-reminders, but you know, it's tough. It's tough being an artist. It's tough being a creative of any kind, you know, because a lot of times it's a reflection of ourselves, and what we're putting out there is such a true reflection of ourselves. So we hold that so close to us, you know. We're so proud of that, and no one in life will ever understand what it means to you as much as you understand what it means to you. You know? That's real. And that's important. Like, you got to stop looking for the out validation, any of that shit. Like, it comes from within. It comes from being like, I did that, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. You know, appreciate the accolades, but appreciate where you're stepping up in your life as well, you know, to know that you showed up and you're doing your own thing. And like, because when you show up with that energy and people are like, this kid's fulfilled, this kid's proud of himself, this kid works hard for himself, this kid believes in his dreams, they start to believe in their dreams, and that's the energy, that's the circle of people you want to be around, you know?
Wow.
So, like, it's cool, bro. It's like, I feel like that way about you. It's just like off rip, like we meet, like, you know, you have a clothing brand, you're super, like, I don't know, like your story's super inspirational, bro. Like, I don't know, it's like, it really spoke to me, you know, and just, you just wanted to do what makes you happy, man. And life's too short for us not to do what makes us happy, man. You know? It's like, why not?
Why not,
yeah.
man? Why not do what makes you happy, y'all, man? And on that note, man, I really appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you. Thank you for having me come out here, man.
At the cabinet shop once again.
The cabinet shop, yo.
Oh,
it's lit over here, yo. It's lit, man. Amazing conversation, bro. I really appreciate your insight, bro. I feel like a lot of people can learn so much from the words that you spoke today, bro. Man, I look forward to working with you in the future, man. Whether it's a show, whether it's a pop-up event, whether it's just coming through and just kicking it on some chill stuff, man. We definitely gonna do that, bro. So
absolutely. Even if I'm traveling.
Like, yeah, bro. If you in Atlanta, bro. If you in Atlanta, bro, you can stay. I have a private guest room in my house, so I Airbnb that thing. So like that. Bro, I'll shut it down, bro. Pull up for a day or a week, whatever you're trying to do, man. Let's make some stuff pop off, bro.
Yeah, that'd be a vibe. Absolutely.
All right, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We need all the support that we can get. We've been going hard here at Dukesday Media. It's the podcast. Once again, thank you to my brother Jacob for coming through and just sharing his wisdom and sharing his story with everybody. We're going to have more great episodes on the way. Thank y'all, everybody. Peace.